I'm pretty run down because that old roster had me doing 10 interviews today.
Goodness
I'm
me.
pretty burnt out. Yes, yes, sir. And everybody wants to talk longer than 15 or 20 minutes. So I guess I'm more famous than I thought I was.
Yeah.
I'm
well,
on the
you,
phone, girl.
well, you can have a well-earned rest after this one.
Oh yeah, I'm going to sleep after this. Y'all done wore me out.
All right, well, let's start. As we speak, the album is going to be officially released tomorrow. You must be feeling excited, though. Even though you're tired, you must be incredibly excited.
Yeah, well, I'm glad that everything is finally, it would have been nice if we could have did something when this is ready to go out, but everybody's locked in, but I'm going to use this to actually better myself. So, yeah, I'm excited.
Well, before we talk about the record, we'll talk a little bit about your background.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. You carry the title of Daughter of the Blues, and I'm guessing that's a title you carry proudly.
I do, and I'm so proud that I could do that because my father spent a lot of time teaching and showing me what to do. And I know he's looking down saying, okay, she finally got it. I was so timid, he didn't like to tell me nothing because everything he told me hurt my feelings. So sometimes he would be scared to tell me stuff, but I'm glad he told me. I'm glad I listened, and I'm glad it's finally paying off.
Yeah. Growing up, can you recall a moment in time when it started to sink into you? You started to realise what an important figure your father was?
To be honest with you, that didn't happen till I got probably about 21 or 22 years old, because all the time all I saw was just my dad. The fame that he was under, it didn't really hit me in a younger age because I was so angry because he kept on traveling and never had time to spend with me. So actually I was very mad at the blues. Very mad because it took my dad away from me. But then when I came to Chicago and everybody, really just started treating me extra nice so they knew I was B.B.King's daughter. And then he was coming here a lot because he had a manager and an agent living here in Chicago. I don't know if you're familiar with that recording when he did the Regal Theater Live.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he had a manager here, and that guy was in charge of anything came through Chicago musically. He was in charge of it, and that was my dad's manager for a short while. So, I was living here in Chicago, and he was coming through here a lot, and that's when it was a little bit not as good, but not as bad, because he wasn't tied up with an agent that was pushing him like he was pushed at the end. And he had a little time to come in and hang around with his buddies and sit around and talk and everything. So everybody here in Chicago pretty much started looking after me because they wanted B.B.King to respect them. So people were really like, hey, that's B.B. daughter. Don't act crazy. That's B.B. daughter. I got a lot of respect from being B.B.'s daughter. So it started sinking in when I saw that. And not only that, I started seeing him probably reaching his plateau, going to a top level. He was not there yet. He was still going. But then when he got with Sid Seidenberg when he was about 6 to 8 years old, that's when he jumped on the train and just left and didn't never look back.
So you'd say for you going to Chicago was when you stopped being angry at the blues and started to develop a love for it?
No, that's not why I came to Chicago. I left California and came to Chicago because I was running behind a boyfriend that I had liked for since I was from 6 years old up until I was 19. That was my boyfriend. And he had moved to Chicago, and he told me to come up here and we was going to get married. And when I got up here, he married my girlfriend, left me standing at the altar. But no, I'm being silly right now. He didn't marry me, he married my girlfriend. And I was here, I wanted to leave because I was so angry at him, but I decided to stay. And about 2 years later, I started dancing professionally. So things that were here for me kept me here. That was the thing that kept me here. But I only came up here because I was supposed to be meeting up with the boyfriend to get married. And that's when I really got the blues, but I didn't even know that. Sometimes I think about it. Now when people ask me, well, when did you decide to sing? That's probably the reason I started to sing the blues. Because I was hurt.
Yeah.
I was disappointed.
So when you started pursuing music, was there a specific piece of career advice that your father gave you that's stuck with you to this day?
My father gave me a lot of career advice, and it's sticking with me today. And every time I open my mouth, some of these people are saying in the interview, well, I guess they don't really want me to feel bad. And they're saying, now, we're not going to talk a lot about your dad. We're going to talk about you. And I'm like, I am fine with you talking about me and my dad, because we are one now. We are so connected, because it seems like everything I do or say, I add my dad into it. And that's been going on ever since he left this earth. So I feel like it's too many things to do in this one interview to tell you all the different advice and all the different great and wonderful things my dad have shown me about this business, and let me came out there and watch and had me around. And then, he started introducing me to people so people would know I was his daughter. All those things wouldn't have happened if I had came out here after he had passed on. So I was able to get out here while he was doing it. And that made a great difference, because most blues kids don't get a chance to be performing while their parents are living. They always have to somewhat come in at the end and start. So I was able to be working when my dad was living, and that made a big difference to me. And I was going around watching him, and I was going around meeting people. So I'm pretty much ready for this adventure. I'm not new at the game, and I know the business because I learned it, along the way. So I am pretty ready for this new CD.
Hmm. Now you mentioned you were initially a dancer. How serious did that get, or did you always have music in the back of your mind as a career option?
It was very serious, because I think I was born all the things that included entertainment. Sometimes when I'm on stage, people like to laugh a lot because they say I remind them of a comedian. And the dancing came natural, the singing, everything came natural. I never went to school for anything. And when I was dancing, I was at the top of my game. Everybody thought I was the best dancer they ever seen. Everywhere I went, people would follow me from show to show. I was just as connected to people with my dancing as I am with my singing. So, and my dancing kind of helped me get a job in the blues club when I first started singing the blues. Because I went in the club and the person let me sit in, and I forgot I didn't know no blues song. And I ran up on the stage, and I sit there and looked at all them people, and they looking at me like, okay, that's B.B.King's daughter. What's she going to do? And I started singing, got my mojo working. That's all I could remember. I couldn't remember not a verse or nothing. Didn't know the keys, so I just kept saying, got my mojo working. After a while, I put the mic on the stand and started shaking and stuff. I just went into it. And I got a standing ovation and got hired about a month later.
Now, apart from your dad, I believe the wonderful Etta James was also a great inspiration for you.
Oh, yes, she was. Etta was someone that I saw at first when my auntie would take me to see my father. It was always a bunch of men. It was almost like, oh, this thing is only for men. Ain't no women doing nothing. And one time she took me to see him, and Etta Jane was on the show with, it was Jane Brown, Jackie Wilson, Sam Cooke, and about 2 or 3 other people. And she came out there on the stage, and it molded my life, because I'm looking at this beautiful woman looking like Black Marilyn Monroe, and she was just everything that I thought I would want to be when I grow up. I mean, I never stopped thinking from the time I was 13 years old till now. I want to be like Etta James. So when they pushed this song on me at last, I wasn't too happy about that, because I only think Etta James should sing at last. I don't want to hear nobody else singing at last but Etta James. But I told them I'll do the best I can, but that's my idol. So I really just felt intimidated. I did. I felt really intimidated to be pushed to sing Ella Jane because I don't feel like I'm really a ballad singer. And so that song is like ballad for real. And I had to do it because that's what I got paid to do.
No, you've done a wonderful job with it, and it's a beautiful way to close the record, and I'm sure Etta would love it if she was here.
Well, thank you. Well, her sons are still here. The ones that were on the road with her when she was living, they still here. I'm waiting for some of them to come on Facebook and say something.
No doubt being the daughter of B.B.King could open a lot of doors for you, but at the end of the day, you have to have the talent to back it up, which you certainly do. Did you feel a sense of belonging on stage immediately, or did it take some time to develop some self-belief there?
No, I didn't because, like I said, I was kind of like a natural entertainer all my life. Every school I went to and got involved in a play, I always took the lead. If I was in a choir, when I was in the church choir, they picked me out to be the lead singer in the choir. So I've always stood out. I've always, when I was a little girl and my mom would take me around with some of her friends, they would say, "That's B.B. King's daughter. Come on, sing us a song." They wouldn't ask me, could I sing? They'd tell me to sing. And I'll hold out my hand so they know I'm supposed to get paid for that. So could you pay me and then I'll sing for you? And they paid me, and I lit into a song, and I didn't just sing a song. I performed the song. I did the whole little movement and expression and everything. So I've always been like this. I was naturally born like this. It didn't take years of coming and learning, but I didn't carry it to the stage until later on because I wanted to stay around and raise my kids so I didn't have to do like my dad did with me. I didn't want to be leaving my kids. And if I had to start singing, I would have probably ended up traveling. But because I danced for 21 years, I was able to stay around my kids. I didn't have to travel.
Yeah.
So when my kids grew up and they were old enough to kind of take care of themselves, that's when I started singing. Plus, I started singing because I didn't want to get no job. I had been dancing for 21 years, and now I got to go and get a job because I stopped dancing. No, I went to singing. I stopped doing the dancing and went to singing because I could still keep making money.
Yeah. Have you had problems over the years with people trying to exploit the fact that you're the daughter of B.B. King instead of just promoting you as Shirley King?
Always.
Yeah.
That's what used to happen until my father got a little angry because he was getting in trouble with his agents because people would hire me. If they knew B.B. King was going to be playing somewhere, they would hire me in the city the same night and have me somewhere in the area where they would promote about me being in town. And what that would do is offend my daddy's agent because people would think if they just waited and come see Shirley King and B.B. King showed up, they could get some freebies. And that wasn't working too good for my dad. So when he explained to me why that was not a good thing and why I shouldn't let people. And then the bad part about it, he said, "Well, did they pay you?" That he was a character now, okay? He said, "Did they pay you?" Now you settling around me waiting on some money when you done did what you did for them. Go and get some money from them. And I thought about it. It didn't make sense. Not when I go somewhere and somebody want to hand me a couple of $100 to explore me as B.B. King's daughter. Then at the end of the night when I go and see my dad, he might hand me a couple of $1,000 because he had made it. He had earned the money. So as he didn't like to tell you too much. He showed you things. He was a man that didn't think his words supposed to mean all that. You ain't got to do what I said because I told you. But look, I'm going to show you. And every time he showed me something, he was always right. One time he showed me why he had to stop coming to my shows, and it was because he was bigger, and his image was bigger than mine. So I was crying, "You don't never support me," blah, blah, blah. And he actually wasn't supposed to be coming. He didn't play no guitar, nothing. He just showed up. And I had been performing. I had did my first show, and the crowd was just going crazy. But I bet they was looking at that back door the whole time, or the front door. But on the second set, I got up there and started performing, And all of a sudden, Daddy walked in the back door, and somebody told him, B.B.King, you're B. I looked out there. It wasn't not one person sitting in a chair. Not one. They all had ran back there where my dad was. I was up on the stage singing to chairs. So when I realized what the point he was trying to make, I never intimidated him about coming to my shows because I knew that he would do whatever he could to help me. But he wanted to do things right for his management so it wouldn't cause them a problem. My daddy always liked to be obedient. He didn't do things that he wanted to do. He did what he was told to do. And I think that's why so many people worked with him and liked him, because they know if you hire B.B. King, he going to do just what you asked him to do. And he would tell you, if I can't do it, I'm going to do the best I can.
Let's talk about this new record. There's a wonderful list of guest musicians on the album. It must have been a huge job to arrange them all to make their contributions, but they would have had busy schedules of their own.
It would have been an impossible thing for me to do, because I don't know none of these guitar players, and it would have been even worse for me to do this with me being in charge of the CD, because I don't know what arrangement they made with the record label to do this. But I do know John know a lot of different people, because he's been doing this PR stuff for many, many years with all these different famous people, the older rockers and everything. So he knew all these people. So John brought the guitar players in, and Cleopatra Records set up all the songs and did all the rest of the stuff after I finished putting my vocals on a track. I wasn't with nobody.
It must have given you a wonderful shot of confidence, though, to know that all these wonderful names were willing to give up their time to contribute to your album.
Oh, I'm feeling more, because they used a whole surprise thing on me. I did not know who was going to be playing. They did not really tell me that. They surprised me with these names after the CD was done, and I didn't see nothing until the CD was finished and they sent it to me. And that's when I knew. I found out pretty much about this CD about a week or two ago, just like you all did.
Wow. What a wonderful surprise.
Yeah. Yep.
It's not strictly a blues album. You've gone outside the traditional blues genre on some tracks. Songs like Traffic's Feeling Alright and Steve Winwood's Can't Find My Way Home. What did you see in those songs that made them a good fit for you?
Oh, my God. I cried. John had to keep on. My daddy had to get inside of John and keep talking to me, because I said, John, this is not the type of music I do. I mean, and you guys haven't gave me long enough to really study the songs and whatever, because I had to be finished with the whole 11 songs in less than a month. So I really had to go on the internet and watch different people sing this song. And when I went and saw how they was doing Find My Way Back Home, which is a really smooth, nice, mellow ballad. I'm not a ballad singer. I'm an energy goer. I go after songs with the speed. And so I thought, oh, my God, how am I going to do this song and deliver it to the point that it will be recognized by the people that knew the song? Because everybody I saw singing the song, had this really mellow acoustic sound. And but then I fell in love with the song while I was doing it, because it spoke to my heart about what happened when I lost my daddy. Things went so bad, I really was depressed, and I didn't want to get on medication or nothing. So that song was my medicine, because it kind of kept bringing me back, because, when you hear the words, I can't find my way home. And that's how I was feeling. I was feeling so lost, losing my dad, and so many people not treating me good and stuff. I really, I needed that song. And so I ended up loving that song after, everything was over with. And Gallipo was such a dark, rocky, mystifying song, till I just, those were my challenging songs. Find My Way Back Home, Gallipo, and then the first 3 songs I had to do were the Northern Soul songs. Those were Giving It Up and Johnny Porter. and the other songs. So once I mellowed into that, I found those songs. But the other songs, and then they were all men songs. So it's like, excuse me, can I get a few women songs here to do? And so they did throw in Nina Simone, and you know she got that dark, big old manly voice too. So I was like, oh, okay. Well, they did give me a woman song, even though she's very deep with her singing. So I mean, I just went on and studied these people and did the best I could do. That's all I could do. Do the best I could.
As one track there featuring the great Junior Wells, who of course hasn't been with us for over 20 years.
Oh,
do you know the details of where that was recorded?
I had no problem with that song because I grew up in Chicago watching Junior Wells. I didn't get a chance to perform or sit in with him, but when I first came to Chicago, Junior Wells and Buddy Guy was the Blues Brothers of Chicago. You know, when you saw Buddy, you saw Junior. When you saw Junior, you saw Buddy. And Junior Wells was such a performer. Oh, my God, when they did that now, I didn't have a problem. I went right in the studio smiling and laughing, and because I do a arrangement of the Hoochie Coochie Woman. So I'm into those selling blues songs. I'm into that real good. So I had a lot of fun doing that. And the fact that they went and got Junior Wells from the grave and brought him back to do that with me, oh, my God, what an honor.
Yeah, it's a wonderful track.
Yeah.
Now, I don't want to dwell too much on this because I'm sure you're probably tired of talking about it, and it's a new record we want to promote here, but there's been a horrible situation going on over your dad's estate since he passed away. What's the current state of the situation there?
It's still like, that's why I'm glad that this CD came out because you would think after 5 years everything will be all right. The estate is still in court with people suing them. Come on, even the B.B.King Club is suing the B.B.King estate. Two of the B.B.King band members were suing B.B.King estate. I mean, people just started coming after my dad and money like nobody's business. And because a bunch of family members that don't know the business and shouldn't have never been brought into it got hold to being able to, they got a lawyer to take them in court to say all 15 of us have votes. So you got to depend on 14 people that don't like you to vote for something you want to do. I hurry up and step to the side. I just stopped doing anything. I haven't really did anything since my father left this earth, but been on Facebook blowing him up. I blow him up so tough on Facebook. I got a show going on Facebook called Shirley King Alive, Shirley King in her bedroom, Shirley King in her kitchen, Shirley King out on the patio, and people come watch me and talk to me, and everybody has such sweet things to say about my father. So we just started intimate conversation on Facebook Live, and that's what I've been doing for 5 years, keeping my father's legacy alive. I do that so good till I'm intimidating other famous people that can't outdo me trying to promote my daddy, because many people have tried to just do things with my dad's name in there and have excluded me out. They just, in February, they did a tribute to B.B.King down in somewhere in New York. They did it. And my nephew told me it's somebody else's time to shine. So you can't get all the limelight. It's somebody else's time. And he went and brought his cousin in there, which is a granddaughter, and that's who they used on the show to do a tribute to my father. And it was Buddy Guy and a few other people. But I thought, what a smack in the face. But you know what? I let it go. And now they can't even pay the money for the show because they didn't make the money because it didn't go like they wanted. I said, that's good for you. See, you left B.B. King's daughter out of it, and you now do not have the profit to pay the estate. So, everything that God has done for me has been because I tried to keep my stuff in order. I didn't go on TV talking about my dad. I didn't go on there fighting with them. I just tried to stay real quiet because my father didn't like that. My father was not messy. He didn't keep up no mess. You never saw a scandal on my father when he was living. Never. I mean, look, he had 15 kids. He took ownership to 15 kids and 15 mothers. Some people didn't even know that. because he wasn't like that. He didn't, he didn't go out here, and when he was in trouble with the tax people, everybody else was talked about on TV. Really, Neff, all the people were talked about on TV, Red Fox and all of them. They didn't even mention that he was in tax trouble. They let him quietly work it out and paid it off. Nobody knew that B.B.King had the same problem that these other stars had, that they blew it up on the media.
So there are 14 others that have laid claim to be children of B.B., but you have your doubts about some of those, don't you?
Huh?
You have your doubts about some of those, the other 14 people that have claimed to be children of B.B.King.
No, it's not them claiming to be. My daddy decided to let 15 people be his family. He didn't go to court, 15 women and 15 babies, and he didn't have neither. He had 2 wives, they had kids, and he didn't have no kids by them. So it even got so ugly till some of his friends went on Unsung and was saying, well, B.B.King ain't really got no kids. Oh, it didn't matter that B.B.King had called me out on stage and said, this is my daughter. People started saying all kind of things. Some of the band members started trying to use his name and could. So they wasn't respecting my father. If you somebody's friend, you don't wait till they pass to dog them out. You know what I mean? That's not friendship. So I had to just go somewhere and be quiet because, like I said, it's 14 other people that have to say, well, we gonna do this or we ain't gonna do this, and a lot of them went out and went to get lawyers, and then the lawyers didn't like it because we didn't like each other, and they took their money and left. So we've had nothing but people coming in suing B.B. King's estate ever since he closed his eyes. They did it before he closed his eyes, but it's been going on for 5 years. So I got Google last year. Yeah, last year, it was either for his 93rd birthday or his 94th. I got Google to do a big old thing on my dad, and it's probably the only thing that's been happening worldwide for my dad since he left this earth. Ain't nobody tried to, at his birthday time, did a big tribute for him. Nobody tried to, nobody did anything for my dad, and he did everything for everybody. That's why I don't really like too many people right now. I stay away from a lot of people. I stay to myself now. I don't socialize like I used to, because when you hurt my father, you hurt me. If you hurt my father, you hurt me. And Joe Louis Walker was the only famous guitarist called me and asked me how I was doing. He called me. He didn't even know me, but he found me and he called me. He asked me how was I doing. He tried to connect me with his agent, but when I got the contract, I didn't understand it, and I didn't have no lawyer. And my dad, the money was being fought over, so I didn't sign up with his agent, but he did try to help me even get work. He was the only one out of all these so-called famous friends that my dad had.
He's such a kind and generous man, your dad, and he'd be horrified if he knew what's been going on.
Oh, I believe he know, because my dad, I tell people he ain't down in no ground. My dad, he loved what he was doing too much. He kept saying, you are my sunshine. So every day on Facebook, I blow it up and talk about their daddy is. And at first they was laughing at me, calling me crazy. At first the Facebook people was kind of scratching their head on me, Now I got them, when I do that, they all go to compliment and saying, yeah, that daddy is. Sometimes they'll take the picture and send it to me. So people realize B.B. King's spirit is dwelling among us. It's his spirit, because he loved what he did so much, and he didn't want to stop. And when he had to stop, he tried his best to finish it off, but he just couldn't do it no more. Yeah. So when I went to see him in December 2014, when they was fighting over his money and somebody trying to kill him and all that, when I went to see him, he was looking so pitiful. Oh, my God, he was unshaved. He was nasty, had on nasty pajamas and a bruise on him where he had fell out the bed. I don't know. It was so bad. And I couldn't do nothing, because he's supposed to have been left everything to the so-called secretary that went to run around to she was the manager. And I'm like, wait a minute. She's not daddy's but I left it alone. because it would have required me going to the media, talking stuff, and that my dad wouldn't have liked that. I don't care if he wasn't here no more. I always try to do what my dad would like for me to do, and he wouldn't have liked for me to do that. So I just went somewhere and sat down and went Facebook Live. Now, from time to time, when they got too crazy on the TV or did something really, really outrageous, I would get my campaign going on Facebook Live. I didn't go to the media. I created my own media thing, and when they took my daddy's guitar, and all my daddy's stuff, his passport and everything, because the greedy family wanted money. They sold off all my daddy's stuff. Now we can't get the money for that because people that did things and left, they took whatever they wanted. How do we know what they took? I haven't been in my daddy's house since he passed. I'm his oldest daughter, and I have not been in his house since he passed. He told me I could have 3 coats when he was living. When he was sick and living, I haven't got those coats yet. But the ones that had the, lawyer and had the little connection and went up there and got hats and things, a grandson running around with the B.B.King, ate his guitar and was mad at my daddy when he was living. Now he walking around with my daddy's guitar. So, people really didn't treat him right. Those things should have been put in the museum because none of us are going to take things with us when we go to the grave. When we go to the grave, everything we own here on earth is going to be left behind for somebody to fight over. I would have rather saw all of my daddy's stuff in a museum. Now, there's a B.B. King museum down there, but they don't have nothing to do with me, so I try to stay away because I know he created that. He started that when he was living. He set that museum up in 2008. So it's nothing I can do or disrespect that museum because that's where he knew his family wasn't going to do right. So he started taking stuff that he wanted to protect and had it put in that museum. And we have no say-so over his museum. We can't go up in there and even vote on nothing. So his stuff is protected. One of his cars in a van in his house is still sitting out there. The house stuff falling in and everything because ain't nobody taking care of it. And the lawyers fighting and carrying on, so ain't nobody took time to deal with my daddy's business. And some of the sneaky family members going in getting what they want. It's just bad. I mean, this man deserves so much more than that. He should have had a better people. He should have had a better, maybe he could have stayed around a little while longer if his family had took care of him instead of running around waiting on some money. So everybody was waiting on Dad to kick for money. And now people are just walking out the door sideways and every way with Daddy's money. All the hard life he worked, all his hard life, he worked to earn every penny. Nobody never gave him nothing. And when he was alive, he gave everybody in this family money. He sent everybody that wanted to go to college to school and stuff. And he wanted money put to the side for the ones that didn't get a chance to be around him when he was here. He wanted that money to be put aside for some of the great grandkids and the ones up under them to be able to go to school. And right now, I don't know the state. I don't know what's going on with the state because they stay away from me. They kind of the new business people don't have nothing to do with me. The lawyer don't have nothing to do with me. So I could get a lawyer and deal with that. But I don't even want to because I think God is going to work this out. I'm leaving it all in his hands because I didn't see my daddy fighting and then somebody going to tell me, you got to fight. I'm like, I didn't learn how to fight. I didn't see my father fighting. So it would be pretty hard for me to be a fighter because I wasn't exposed to that.
Let's hope eventually it all makes itself right. Hey, one thing I do want to talk to you about before I let you go, there's something a bit more positive, the work you do with children in the Chicago public school system, the Urban Gateways Arts in the Schools program.
I'm not with them no more. They still getting credit on me when I was with them. But I have my own Blues in the School program. A young lady that her boyfriend was playing guitar for me, and she saw me do my Blues in the School program, and she got together with a team of people and created me my own Blues in the School program, and it only focused on B.B. King and Booker White. And the reason it focused on Booker White because that's B.B. King's cousin.
That's right.
So actually, Actually, I'll be able to ease in after a while because there's three generations of us from the blues. Booker White, my daddy, and myself. So right now, I just focus on my Blues in the School program. And when I start touring or when things get better and I can go back out here, every place I work, I want to select a school before I get there, select a school and go there and give them 30 to 45 minutes of my time free to do a Blues in the School program.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah.
And just before I let you go, Shirley, I know that things are pretty hard in terms of trying to promote this album because performing live is just not an option at the moment. So, what other things are you doing to get the word out there about this album?
Well, it's very easy for me. Like I told you, I got a very well active Facebook. I mean, people are just going crazy. You would have thought that I just started. I mean, Facebook is blowing up because of Shirley King. And then most of these places that I've performed at, people are calling from like Cleveland, from Ohio, from Georgia. These are places that I've performed and people see me perform. And the people that's the rockers are like wanting to know what's going on because they know the guitar players. So this thing is taking on his own thing. It's the baby just jumped out and started crawling. It didn't even wait to crawl. So right now, I'm glad this thing is not where I can just run out there because when I come out there with this CD, I want to have people talking from the show. Not, it's not all the time about the CD. It's about what people will pay to come see. You buy the CD for what, $11 or $12, but when you come see me live and you pay $30 or $40, I want to be right with this. So I'm having enough time now with this stuff going on because I try to stay away from it. I'm a lover, so all this fighting going on, it would depress me. So I got to be careful not to be drugged down. I got to be happy and hyped. So when I come out here and start doing my music, I can bring love and joy to people. I don't want to go in a place and people go to class because I'm feeling sorry and talking about all this stuff. I want to go in there and take their minds off of it. I want to go in there and be having so much fun, they'll forget this stuff is going on. One person told me today, Shirley, with the way you doing this CD, they should I said, that's right, have me standing on the street corner, and they'll be trying to run and fight and loot, and I get to make them have fun, and they'll stop and forget what they're out there fighting for. So I'm looking forward to easing the pain from some of this stuff that's going on. I'm a pain soother. I'm not nobody that likes to dig in a sore and stir it up. So I try to stay away from that. I don't let anybody go political on my page. I don't let anybody fight over religion. I keep all of that off my page because this page is created for Shirley King and B.B.King. And people love that. And people see they can't outdo me now, so they don't start saying, oh, if you like Shirley King, you will like this page. And then they'll create something built up on my daddy. Because they see how I got it going. I got people just carrying on about B.B. King on the internet, on Facebook. So now we have about 8 pages of people trying to lock in on my daddy so they can pull traffic their way. But they're going to have to get up earlier than what they're getting up. Because I do all good every single day on my dad. Even if I don't do nothing but just mention a song or I just mention my daddy. Every morning I get up and take a picture of the sun and say, Daddy here. So I have not stopped loving my dad since he left this earth. In fact, I love him more now. I blew him up when he was around. I kept him, he said, baby, you don't have to promote me. That's what I got people working for me to do. I'm like, it ain't got nothing to do with them. This is the love of your daughter doing this. So I'm going to continue on doing what I was doing when my dad was here. And that's keeping the legacy alive. And now I can do it from Shirley King, B.B. King's daughter, not B.B. King's daughter. What's her name? Because, for a minute, I was just B.B. King's daughter. People sometimes didn't even call my name. They just said, we got B.B. King's daughter here tonight. And I'm like, my name is Shirley King. Could you tell her my name? Excuse me? Yep.
Well, he would
now they'll be Shirley King.
No doubt he was immensely proud of it, and he'd be certainly proud of this brand new record. And congratulations on it. I'll let you go, Shirley. I know you've had a long day and you need a well-earned rest.
Well,
Congratulations.
I enjoy talking about my daddy. So this was the last one. I don't care however long you want to talk to me. You're welcome. I enjoy talking about my daddy.
Yeah,
So.
your enthusiasm is very infectious. Congratulations once again on this wonderful record. We hope once all this situation is over with lockdowns and everything, we might see you down here in Australia on our stages. We'd love to see you here.
Oh, I have a lot of fans down there. They would love to see that too. So I'm going to pray that God ease the pain so we can get back to work. Cause see, if music is taken away, and that's another reason it's got people so like this. You know, that music was the thing that keep everybody calm. So you shutting down the music, you stopping the thing that make people happy.
Yeah.
So, we got, and especially people like us that, that's involved in it, writing and playing the music and talking about the music and promoting the music. Man, they don't really put a dap on us. So I will pray, and you pray, that we all can come back together and bring joy and peace to the world. In fact, I'm going to add that to my show. I'm going to add that to my set list. Let's all get together and bring peace to the world. That was one of the songs that my daddy sung on one of them TV shows, and it was hopping. So I'm going to bring that into there. Yeah, I'm going to try to do as many meaningful songs, and all these songs that's on this CD, I can give really wonderful speeches about them before I start singing them, because they all are so legendary. So I'll be able to have a nice fulfilled show. I won't be up there struggling, because I will have a show worth presenting.
Wonderful. Hey, Shirley, thank you so much. Take good care, and God bless you, and hopefully we'll see you down here real soon.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
All the best.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.